This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
With our good friend Rav Moshe Basali, who's the expert on Venice. And the legend has it that at these two doors, the Ramchal was put in Cherem. Now it's very important to realize when the Chida comes to Italy and the Chida comes to Venice, the Chida, when he arrived in Italy, comes to Livorno, he's put in Lazaretto. Lazaretto means he's in quarantine. So he can't come out. What's he going to do? The Chida writes the Sheim Hegedolim in quarantine. He writes the whole Sheim Hegedolim from memory, without any svarim, without any computers. And he listed all the Gedolim that lived before him. You would expect that someone who contributed to Jewish literature, like the Ramchal, Mesil Shiurim, Das Tavunos, Darach Hashem, Adir B'Amoraim. Also, by the way, the Ramchal wrote a second Zohar. He wrote a volume of Kabbalah as big as the Zohar, a second Zohar. You would expect the Ramchal to appear in Sheim Hegedolim. The name of the Ramchal does not appear in the Sheim Hegedolim. The Svarim of the Ramchal do not appear in the Sheim Hegedolim. And it's not like the Chida did not quote anybody who was somewhat controversial. But the Ramchal does not appear in Sheim Hegedolim. In the personal diary of the Chida mentions Mesil Shiurim. When he says when he was in various places, he was in a garden maze, the likes of which the Mesil Shiurim talks about. But you can't help but think that here in Italy, how could the Chida write about the Ramchal? The Ramchal was in Cherem. This was not perhaps a wise move to be mentioning the Ramchal. So we mentioned the Ramchal wrote a second Zohar. The Pachad Yitzchak, Rabbi Yitzchak Lamprunti, writes about his encounter with the Ramchal, that he saw the Ramchal, mamish keheref ayin, write an entire page of Chidushei Torah, like that, ma she'i efshar leben adam lasais. Okay, so we're talking about such a personality that had the ability to, right now we know, it's not like, the Ramchal is flowery or literary. The Gra is reputed to have said that he read the first 11 or so chapters of Mesil Shiurim. There's not one extra word. So nobody wrote more accurately than the Ramchal. And yet, keheref ayin, he was able to write an entire page, mashi efshar ben adam lasais. So the Chida talks about, when he came to Italy, he met somebody by the name of Rabbi Yaakov Chazak. Okay? I want to tell you what he writes about Rabbi Yaakov Chazak, because he met him twice. He met him in his first trip, in the 1750s, and in his second trip. He says he heard about Rabbi Yaakov Chazak, Shaloi Ra'a Keri Miyamav. He never became Tameh in his life. Now Rabbi Yaakov Chazak, the Chida says in the Magal Tov, was a member of Beis Lutzato. He was a member of the Ramchal's secret association. Now we don't know exactly what transpired in the conversation between the Chida and Rabbi Yaakov Chazak. However, we do have personal diaries of the Chida. And in the Chida's personal diaries, he writes very cryptically what Rabbi Yaakov Chazak told him about what was going on here with the Ramchal. Because in some of the writings of the Ramchal does reference Shabtai Tzvi. There's no question. The Ramchal speaks about him. And it appears that what Rabbi Yaakov Chazak told the Chida was that the opinion of the Chida, the opinion of the Ramchal, was that Shabtai Tzvi had a certain potential to be Mashiach, which whether or not he was and became Mashiach could still be accessed and tapped into. And this was like secret conversations that Rabbi Yaakov Chazak had with the Chida. So the Chida records the reverence he had for Rabbi Yaakov Chazak. The Chida learned about the Ramchal from Rabbi Yaakov Chazak. But again, here in Venice, specifically the chief rabbi of Venice, in America we call him Rabbi Yitzchak Pacifico, was a great adversary of the Ramchal. And many people go to Venice and they spend a lot of time in the Lutzato Beis Medrash, and people talk about the Ramchal. That was not the Ramchal's Beis Medrash. Ramchal did not have a Beis Medrash here in Venice. That was Reb Shmuel David Lutzato, who's more of a modern scholar. But here is where the Ramchal was put in Cherem, and we'll speak more about him as we go along.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.